What is risk management? According to Murphy's law, if anything can go wrong, it will. Untreated risk has killed way too many projects. While project management is overhead, the reason organizations tolerate that overhead is because projects bring risk. If there wasn't risk, we wouldn't need any project management. Projects deal with change. As you know, there are two kinds of changes: pitching a change and catching a change. So, projects deal with change, and dealing with change is risky business, as many businesses don't handle change very well. There's a probability of some sort of event occurring that will have an impact on your project. There are two major categories of risk: positive and negative risk. Positive risks are often called opportunities. These are things that can happen that will enhance the outcome of your project. So, how to manage risk? First, work on to identify risk, and this is done in teams meeting with project sponsors, stakeholders, and team members. Second, you must evaluate the possibility of an occurrences of your risk. Third, you must determine actions, and you must control risk on an ongoing basis. Projects come with risk. As a project manager, your job is to understand risk and incorporate it in your project to obtain better results and reduce uncertainties. So, how will you integrate risk management? First, use risk to prioritize day to day. Discuss with your sponsors all issues and possibilities in your project life cycle. Third, make risk as a regular topic at a status meeting with your team members, where you must invite your project sponsors and stakeholders as well. You must discuss each and everything and possibility of risk occurrences in your project life cycle and create and update an overall risk plan. If project manager does not manage risks, will not be able to finish project well on time and within budget. You may be different in managing projects because project managers don't want anything to do with it and they are happy to tolerate other risks. So, how do you find out how your stakeholders' risk tolerance or sponsors even? First, be prepared that your stakeholders, sponsors, and the people on your project team will each tolerate risk differently. So, how risk tolerance consideration is managed by a project manager? First, team members take risk differently. They have their own interest to achieve in project life cycle, but as a project manager, it's your responsibility to incorporate risk according to the best interest of the project. Second, people have business motivations to protect scope, time, or money with these constraints are discussed. We need to understand these motivations. For example, one organization is involved in trade shows. At these shows, the company is expected to display new products. If they don't have new products ready to show off at the trade shows, it will impact their business. A project stakeholder in this instance will be totally focused on time constraint because it's critical they have products ready to demonstrate at that trade shows. Risk impacts to cost and scope are much lower priority for them as long as they get their new product when required. Third, stakeholders' performance evaluation. How do they evaluate risks in their project? and culture of the organization. Different organizations have different risk tolerance. As you know, the first official document in project risk management is plan risk management, which is the process of defining how to conduct risk management activities for a project. The key benefit of this process is that it ensures that the degree, type, visibility of risk management are proportionate to both risk and importance of the project to the organization and other stakeholders. You need your project charter and you need your project management plan and stakeholder register, as well as enterprise environmental factors and organizational process assets. In tool and techniques, we have expert judgment, we have data analysis and meetings, and in output we produce one document, and that is very comprehensive document that is called risk management plan. So let's discuss the elements of risk management plan. First is methodology. Methodology describe information on how each of the risk management processes will be carried out, including whether quantitative risk analysis will be performed and under what circumstances. Identify tools such as risk breakdown structure, techniques such as interviews, Delphi techniques that will be used for each process. Identify any necessary data sources needed to perform risk management on the project. Next is roles and responsibilities. It documents the roles and responsibilities for various risk management activities. Risk categories. Identify categorization group used to sort and organize risk. These can be used to sort risk on the risk register or for risk breakdown structure. Like in this example, at first level 0, you just mentioned all sources of project risk. Then we have different categories: technical risk, management risk, commercial risk, and external risk. These are the categories in this document, and at RBS level 2, these are your actual risk which you will manage in your project. Next is risk management funding. It documents the funding needed to perform the various risk management activities such as utilization expert advice or transferring risk to a third party. Then we have contingency protocols. Describe the guidelines for establishing, measuring and allocating both budget contingency and schedule contingencies. Then we have frequency and timings. Determine the frequency of conducting formal risk management activities and the time of any specific activity. We have stakeholder risk tolerance, as we have already talked about it, which identify the risk tolerance levels of the organization and key stakeholders on the project with regard to each objectives, cover at least scope, quality, schedule and cost objectives. We have risk tracking and audit. Determine how risk management activities such as quantitative risk analysis and contingency management will be documented and tracked. We have definition of probability. Document how probability will be measured and defined. For example, very high. There is an 80% probability or higher than the event will occur. High. There is 60 to 80% probability that event will occur. In medium, we may specify 40 to 60%. In low, we may specify 20 to 40%. In very low, we say 1 to 20%. Then we have definition of impact by objectives. Like in this example, you can see you have scale, probability, time, cost and quality. This is called probability and impact matrix. And last is probability and impact matrix. Describes the combination of probability and impact that indicate a high risk, a medium risk, and a low risk. So this is all about my today's lecture. In this video we have covered elements of risk management plan. Do not forget, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon.